So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show. Today we have something special prepared for you guys. We have a couple of shout outs that I want to give out there to a couple of Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels, and dealers, and we also want to talk about the year 2022, which it was a fantastic year, that 2022. For me, at least, it was a great year. And we're going to be talking about the present year of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, I was watching yesterday. There's a gentleman, which I call the English Brad Pitt from the UK. Don't get it confused with Hermie, the English elf. This is, the Brad Pitt, the English Brad Pitt from the UK. I'm not talking about Hermie, the English elf. Don't get it confused. If you want to see a picture of Hermie, the English elf, I'm going to put it up so you guys can see it. Look, it's right there, okay? Look at it real good. But I want to give credit and props to this gentleman, which I call the English Brad Pitt, for taking the time and talking to you people out there about discontinued watches, the way they behave. He's unbelievable. He gave an unbelievable presentation. And again, I call him Brad Pitt, the English gentleman. He's an English, over there from the UK. Brad Pitt, beautiful Hollywood looks. Young kid, sweet kid. He's a sweet kid too as well, like Sweet Kid Kino, But don't get him confused, Don't get the English Brad Pitt confused with Hermie, the English elf. Two different people. They're from over there from the UK, but they're two different people, Brad Pitt is a sharp-looking man, right? So, if you want to go take a look, see what he has to say about discontinued watches, do yourself a favor and go take a look at him. He's unbelievable, right, guys? Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, also in the year 2022, there was some things that I wrote down. There were some beautiful quotes that I wrote down for you people when we understood that the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market was going into some hard times, but nobody there to say it. But I did, I did. And I wrote some quotes that went like this. They say, to have a sucker rally, you must first find foolish people so that the fool and his money are easily parted. So don't get on the sucker rally watch wave. The watch market is dead. That was one that I wrote down, and I even had the date, it was somewhere in October 28th, 2022. Unbelievable. What a year, I also wrote another one that said, gray watch market dealers are artificially holding up the prices to lessen up their financial losses on watches they purchase at the hype. Unbelievable. This was also, I wrote this quote down in October, I think October the 9th, 2022. It was an unbelievable year, ladies and gentlemen. I wrote down all these quotes for you guys, to let you know that the watch market was dead. I can see that things were going bad already, I can see from that coming out of 2021, I can see that things were not looking good, but everybody was playing hush hush, and I was the only one at that time saying that the watch market is dead. And it was like an insult to many people, but it is what it is, I take pride in that I was the first to tell you guys. And today, many of them are using my catchphrases that the watch market is dead in a backyard pool floating face down like this, The watch market is dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. It's what it is, And I also wrote this one too. And it goes like this. It goes, the watch market is dead. That might sound bad, but it's only bad for flippers and resellers. For the rest of the people that want a watch to actually own it, it's a good time. Cheers. It's a good time for you guys. I wrote that down too. And that was somewhere in November 10th of 2022. Unbelievable, And it's incredible, ladies and gentlemen. That year, 2022, was something else. I can see it. That the watch market was gonna blow up, bad, real bad. And this one I wrote down November the 2nd of 2022. And it says, while the rest of the world is frantically hunting for a Rolex, the Chinese are desperately dumping theirs. The watch market is dead. November 2nd, 2022, I wrote that one too. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. You know, so it is what it is. You know, I wrote all these quotes down in 2022, and I just wanted to just, show them to you so you can see for how long I've been telling you that the watch market is dead. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for the last, I say, 3 years already. I'm telling you, unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, there's some channels out there that are now, showing you what watches were, costing in 2022, and I've been telling you what they were costing in 2022, 2021, right? And present, 2025, An example, this watch right here, right? This is the Rolex green ceramic bezel, green dial. They call it the Hawk. The Hawk, the strong guy, Believable. That watch in 2022, as you can see in the picture, that watch in 2022 was pricing at $32,500, in the Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market, And then today, in the year 2025, that watch was, again, it was at $32,500. And today, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but this is the honest truth. We only know how to practice the truth in this channel. We're an organic watch channel. Real subscribers, real likes, real comments, real views. And ladies and gentlemen, that watch today, they're saying that in 2025, I'm saying, the watch is worth $15,700. And that is the Rolex Submariner Hawk, with the green bezel and the green dial. From $32,500 in 2022 to $15,700 in 2025. As you can see in the picture, unbelievable, but true. There's another watch where people went nuts, and it was the Omega Snoopy. The Omega Snoopy watch, and in 2022, that watch was being paraded and being dealt by the Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers. They were asking a price of that watch $32,000. As you can see in the picture, $32,000, in the year 2022. And there were a lot of people going crazy with that watch, because, once it would get discontinued, it was going to jump up to $100,000, A lot of possum kickers and cow tippers out there, crumb bums that believe all that sketch of discontinued watches. And today, in the present year of 2025, I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in the picture, you've seen it already. Don't pay more than $12,500, and that watch is dropping still, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you all this so you guys, can see what's going on. Another watch that you guys were going crazy for, and you guys did some crazy things to get this watch. We're talking about no other than the Rolex Daytona yellow gold with a green dial, the John Mayer, the guy with the guitar. The guitar guy. And they were talking when that watch would discontinue, that watch was going to go to $500,000, And then 2022, that watch was all the way up to $140,000. As you can see in the picture, $140,000. And today, in the year 2025, you guys will be lucky. You guys will be real lucky if you get, $57,000 for that watch. It's dropping still, but I'm just, I'm being kind because now all these, different websites, analytics and charts and this and that, they're putting all this out. But I've been telling you this for the last 3 years, for the last 3 years. So you'll be lucky. Like I said again, you'll be lucky if you get $57,000 for that Rolex Daytona yellow gold green dial. No, John Mayer. Okay, just to let you guys know. There's another discontinued watch. I'm telling you, you guys have been, cow tippers. You guys have been possum kickers for too long until, Sweet Kid Keno and I came along and we try to help you out with, with the situation. We try to help you out. This watch is a Patek Philippe Rose Gold 5980 chrono. Unbelievable. In 2022, as you can see in the picture of that watch, in 2022, that watch was fetching a price that they were telling you guys, to get you hoodwink, to get you fleece of $370,000. That's crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got bad news to tell you. The watch got discontinued, it got discontinued. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll be lucky today if you get $155,000. As you can see in the picture, unbelievable. This is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to stop believing that sketch of discontinued watches. On Monday, it'll be April the 1st, and you're going to see what's going to happen, with all the watches. They're telling you discontinue this, discontinue that. You're going to see. Stop being window lickers. Stop being lollipop suckers. The watch market is dead, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what these, hoodwinks and hucksters keep on telling you. Watch market is dead. No hay dinero por la calle, papi. Está la situación jodida. Our next watch is an unbelievable watch. It's an AP, Audemars Piguet. Unbelievable, that AP. This is an unbelievable watch. Stainless steel with a blue dial, chrono. And this watch in the year 2022, it went all the way up to $111,000, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. And today, the year is 2025, and you'll be lucky if you get for that watch, for that 41 millimeter stainless steel chrono, AP, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, as you can see in the picture. You'll be lucky if you get, as you can see in the picture, you'll be lucky if you get $44,000 for that watch, $44,000. Unbelievable but true, ladies and gentlemen. The watch market is dead. Stop being possum kickers. You guys are all over the place being possum kickers. The watch market is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Watch market is dead. As you can see in this picture that I'm going to show you another AP Royal Oak. Unbelievable. Open work, skeleton. I don't know, all this good stuff, double balance wheel. I don't know, too many things to tell you, Rose gold, unbelievable. And in 2022, this watch was at $380,000. $380,000, ladies and gentlemen. In 2022, $380,000. And today, the present day, 2025, unbelievable watch. You'll be lucky if you get $173,000 for that watch. I'm just letting you know, what all these guys are doing now, you guys showing you all this, these analytics, charts. I've been telling you for the last 3 years, this is the no mumbo jumbo show, for real here. The other watch that was unbelievable was that Richard Mille, that Bubba Watson, RM055, all ceramic. Unbelievable. In 2022, this is another discontinued watch. In 2022, this watch was over $500,000, unbelievable, as you can see in the picture. And today, present day, 2025, you'll be lucky if you get $226,000 for that watch. Discontinued watch, your favorite word, collector's dream, collector's choice, collector's gray. The watch market is dead, ladies and gentlemen. So, I wanted to, give you all these, these were real popular watches at that time. They was real popular. People were going bananas for these watches. They wanted these watches and they did whatever they had to do to get these watches. You understand me? And you guys got to be careful because, like I said, on April the 1st, which is next Monday coming up, people are going to get fleeced and flim-flammed, with watches that they're going to get discontinued. I'm going to tell you a watch, which I'm pretty sure, of one watch, I'm pretty sure that they're going to discontinue. And that is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual. stainless steel, 41 millimeter. They call this watch the Celebration. You know, it has the little balls, different colors, green, yellow, orange, red, all those colors, little balls, the Celebration. I believe, personally, and I'll take full responsibility on this. Me, myself, and I believe that watch will be discontinued. The Celebration, Oyster Perpetual, stainless steel with the colorful little balls in the dial. I think that watch is going to be discontinued. And if you're asking me what price do you think, you guys should pay, I mean, I can only tell you this. While the watch is being hyped up, it can go all the way to the sky, to the stars. But once it's been declared discontinued, it'll drop faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. Discontinued watches is just a big Las Vegas sketch. It's a sketch to get you flim-flam, to get your children's tuition money. So be very, very careful with that watch. Also be very, very careful with the Rolex Pepsi, the red and blue ceramic bezel, black dial, Jubilee bracelet, not the Oyster one, the one with the Jubilee. Be careful with that watch too. As soon as, if it does get discontinued, it's just going to flatline. The fever will last 2 weeks and it'll die out, It'll die out. Remember, these Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers want the watch to be continued being talked about, being discontinued. Instead of getting discontinued, they want to just keep on talking about being discontinued. It's a way to get you taken. It's a way to get you fleeced. It's a way to get you guys to become, possum kickers and cow tippers, And also be careful also with the left hand Rolex stainless steel with a green and black ceramic bezel, black dial. They call it the Sprite. I call it the Heineken. I call it at times the Monster drink, Be careful with that watch too, So there it is, guys. Protect yourself. I gave you a little rundown of 2022 to the present year of 2025. So you can see everything that I did through those years, for you guys, so you guys wouldn't get taken by these hoodwinks and, these guys are terrible. These guys are cretins, So una gonorreas. You know what a gonorrhea is? You Google it. I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you out. Understand what's happening in the watch market. It's dead. Totally dead. No matter what they try to tell you, it's dead. Don't believe them. Don't believe them, ladies and gentlemen. We also have a private watch group in our Facebook page. It's under my name, Juan Felipe Nieves. Scroll down to About, and you'll find their opposite time watches. And maybe Samantha and Kino will let you in the group. Right, guys? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my video. And like we say every week, take care and brush your hair.